Zhu Tingyun and Lu Yici had been sworn rivals who bickered and competed with each other since childhood. For more than 20 years, they never stopped conflicting and never gave in to one another. When they were little, Lu Yici would pull her braids, and she would pinch his arms in retaliation. After growing up, their family backgrounds were equally matched, and their social circles overlapped completely. They ran into each other constantly in social occasions and daily life. They never spoke kindly to each other on the surface and always teased and tripped one another on purpose, refusing to show the soft feelings hidden deep in their hearts to anyone. Everyone around them believed that they hated each other from the bottom of their hearts, yet only the two of them knew that there was an indescribable subtle entanglement between them. However, both of them were extremely stubborn and refused to face their true feelings, disguising all secret fondness as hostility and indifference. Later, Lu Yici was involved in a serious car accident during an underground street race. He suffered severe head injuries and was rushed to the intensive care unit. Although his life was no longer in danger after emergency treatment, he was left with temporary amnesia due to the severe impact on his brain. When Zhu Tingyun heard the news, her heart was filled with mixed emotions. At first, she could not help feeling a little secretly pleased. She thought that the arrogant, domineering young master of the Lu family, who had always been high and mighty and bullied her all year round, finally suffered a well-deserved misfortune, which relieved the resentment that had accumulated in her heart for many years. But soon after, she recalled all the trivial daily moments they had spent together over the years. Soft heartedness swelled up in her heart, and she could not help feeling guilty and remorseful. She tossed and turned sleeplessly for several days, hesitating whether to visit him or not. Eventually, she went to the hospital with the mentality of watching a good show, wanting to see the arrogant Lu Yici in a down and out and embarrassed state with her own eyes. The atmosphere in the ward was heavy and solemn. Relatives and friends gathered around the hospital bed, all looking worried and anxious. Lu Yici, who had always been high-spirited and unrestrained, lay weakly on the bed at this moment. His eyes were empty and blank, with a trace of dull innocence. Without any of his usual arrogance and coldness, the doctor stepped forward to conduct a basic cognitive test, raised his hand to show a number and asked him to answer. Lu Yici replied impatiently, saying that he only lost his memory and was not stupid at all. His clumsy and funny appearance made Zhu Tingyun unable to hold back her laughter in the corner. Her sudden laugh broke the heavy atmosphere in the ward and attracted everyone aside at once, making her extremely embarrassed and awkward. Not knowing where to put her hands, just at this moment, Lu Yici looked through the crowd and locked his eyes on Zhu Tingyun accurately in an instant. A bright light suddenly lit up in his dull eyes, and he called out her name firmly and clearly in a low voice. Zhu Tingyun was stunned for a moment, feeling helpless and speechless. She secretly complained that their fate was too bizarre. Even amnesia could not separate them, and she could never have a peaceful day. Mother Lu was overjoyed when she saw this scene. Regardless of their real past relationship, she made up lies on the spot in front of everyone, claiming that the two children had been extremely close when they were young, inseparable playmates who no one could pull apart. She insisted that familiar memories would help Lu Yici recover his memory quickly. Zhu Tingyun was dumbfounded on the spot and wanted to refute immediately to expose the lies. But before she could speak, Lu Yici nodded in agreement first. He pretended to remember their so-called good old days. Looking a little unnatural, rolling the corner of the quilt unconsciously with his slender fingers, hiding his secret thoughts. Then he took the initiative to speak, asking all relatives and friends to leave temporarily, hoping to have a private chat with Zhu Tingyun alone. Everyone left one after another out of consideration for the Lu family's face, leaving only the two of them alone in the closed ward. Zhu Tingyun had no scruples. She raised her hand and patted Lu Yici directly on the forehead, exposing his careful thoughts bluntly, questioning him for pretending on purpose and warning him not to play tricks on her again. Unexpectedly, Instead of getting angry and refuting, Lu Yixi leaned back slightly, following the strength of her hand. His eyes were hot and affectionate, staring straight at Zhu Tingyun. His tone was full of cautious tentativeness and inexplicable excitement. He asked softly whether they had secretly been in love before, whether he had always liked her silently, and whether they were underground lovers who had never made their relationship public. Zhu Tingyun felt a chill all over her body, covered with goosebumps. She thought it was absurd and ridiculous. She quickly crossed her arms to defend herself and interrupted his ridiculous fantasies sharply. However, Lu Yixi completely ignored her resistance and indulged in his own thoughts. His earlobes turned red with heat, and his eyes were full of grievance and cowardice. He was convinced that his heart would race and he would feel flustered every time he saw her, firmly believing that this strange feeling was sincere love. He took the initiative to lower his head to apologize. With an extremely humble and well-behaved posture, he said that no matter where he had made her angry in the past, he was willing to bear all punishments, let her handle him casually, and only begged her not to alienate him or abandon him. The huge contrast shocked Zhu Tingyun. The young master of the Lu family, who had always been domineering and never bowed his head to anyone, was now docile and obedient, taking the initiative to please her. A mischievous thought suddenly arose in her heart. She remembered a dinner party the night before the car accident, and old grievances surged in her heart, which she could never let go of. On that day, she left temporarily to wash her hands. Other people joked loudly, asking when Lu Yixi would marry Zhu Tingyun, who had been his childhood sweetheart for more than 20 years. Lu Yixi held a wine glass in his hand, his expression cold and indifferent. He said contemptuously in public that Zhu Tingyun was not worthy of him at all, with mean and insulting words. Zhu Tingyun heard every word clearly when she came back. She was furious on the spot, raised her hand and slapped Lu Yixi without hesitation, then snatched the red wine from his hand and poured it all over his head, completely breaking off their relationship in public. The next day, Lu Yixi had a car race accident. Zhu Tingyun felt guilty and remorseful for a while. Now, looking at his well-behaved amnesiac appearance, all the past humiliation and resentment welled up in her heart. She decided to take advantage of his amnesia's simple mind, to vent her anger and take revenge on him severely. From then on, Zhu Tingyun took the initiative to take control of the relationship and wantonly enjoyed Lu Yixi's docile devotion. She deliberately put on a cold and arrogant attitude, ordered him to put aside all his dignity, follow her closely to carry shoes and run errands for her, and obey all her arrangements unconditionally. What's more, she forced him to change his address and respectfully call her master. After losing his memory, Lu Yixi had a pure mind. His eyes were full of Zhu Tingyun, relying on her wholeheartedly. He obeyed all her orders without asking why or complaining, acting like an obedient little servant. The huge contrast made Zhu Tingyun feel extremely comfortable and satisfied with her revenge. Later, to avoid complicated relatives and friends and continue to tease Lu Yixi alone, Zhu Tingyun took a trip to the seaside to relax overnight without hesitation. She originally thought she could enjoy a quiet leisure time and get rid of all troubles. Unexpectedly, Lu Yixi ignored his unhealed physical condition and chased her all the way to the seaside just to accompany her. On the beach, Zhu Tingyun pressed her hat down tightly, pretended to be asleep on purpose, and tried to alienate him coldly. Lu Yixi was not displeased at all. He sat quietly beside her and gently covered her with a warm blanket, guarding her wholeheartedly with full tolerance. Seeing this, Zhu Tingyun's mischievous thoughts flared up again. She took the initiative to tease him step by step. Wearing cool swimwear, she deliberately showed her figure advantages, asked ambiguously if he was attracted to her, and then ordered him to take her back to the hotel room and take good care of her daily life. Lu Yixi's self-control was on the verge of collapse. His whole body tensed up, blue veins bulged on his hands, and his mood surged uncontrollably. but he still gritted his teeth to restrain himself, obediently picked her up gently, and walked quickly to the hotel, always keeping a decent restraint. Back in the room, Lu Ici simply took a shower, took off his coat, revealing his smooth and tight muscle lines with an excellent figure. He deliberately showed his figure and asked softly if she was satisfied. Xu Tingyin pretended to be calm on the surface and perfunctorily praised him, but her heart was beating fast and flustered, secretly admiring his good figure. The ambiguous atmosphere gradually became strong. Lu Yici leaned closer, circled her in his arms, his eyes deep and affectionate, the corners of his eyes reddening, and the romantic atmosphere was perfect. Just as the ambiguous atmosphere was about to reach its peak, Xu Tingyun suddenly came to her senses, stopped the atmosphere in time, refused to sink passively, and insisted on regaining the dominant position. She forcefully corrected her posture, issued strict orders again, demanded that Lu Yici abide by the servant's rules, not overstep the boundaries, and call her master respectfully again, bowing his head and obeying orders all the time. Then she picked up a tie casually, wrapped it gently around Lu Yici's neck to control him, and ordered him to put his hands behind his back and bow his head to show humility. A trace of forbearing playfulness flashed in Lu Yici's eyes, but he still obeyed obediently and let her manipulate him wantonly. During the pulling, Xu Tingyun put her hand on his firm chest muscle, feeling the good touch up close, secretly excited in her heart, but still maintaining a cold and strong attitude on her face. She lifted his chin frivolously and warned him bluntly that she only liked obedient people and told him to behave, well, if he wanted to stay by her side for a long time.